You had a good week?
With
Just overall, did you have a good week?
yeah, I'm every week's good. I'm alive.
You don't have any families that is immigrants, are they? Illegals.
I have one. I have a grandmother that was an immigrant, but she came over. She married my grandfather.
So she's legal now.
Oh, she. I mean, she died years ago.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, we all came from.
Some immigrants.
Yeah, even
Right.
the English came over here. There in the I mean, they were all
So
immigrants.
Who's a native? Is it
Nobody.
Christopher Columbus, Amerigo Vespucci, the
Not
Indians?
even the Native Americans are natives.
So
They came
who
from
are
somewhere.
the natives of this land?
Who's the natives?
Yeah,
The horses and the buffalo and that's the natives.
you're right. But I'm speaking for the human.
We don't know.
perspective.
I mean, the Native Americans were the first documented because they came and they started documenting
But, I mean,
things.
where we are right now in California, it used to be Mexico.
Oh yeah, but then the
Mexicans were the natives of this land.
Native no, they were Native Americans. The Spanish came up with the missionaries, with the missions. They would come by boat, and they would take all the dead people off the boat, throw it on the shore. Like these, they had the best
What I mean is before us, before the Americans. I mean
Native
us.
Americans.
Yeah, Native Americans and the Mexicans.
The Mexicans came before. Well, the Mexicans
Before California,
they had California,
before
but
the Mexican-American War.
the Spaniards
The Spaniards, yes, of
came
course.
to Mexico, and then they came up, and that's where the Mexicans are probably a combination of Spaniards, Aztecs. I mean, Native Americans.
So there's this inside memo that went out through the administration, Trump administration, that ICE can now enter your home without a warrant and look for migrants. That's a DOJ memo, by the way, and this came from Pat Bondi, and now so they can just
Did she?
Come into
She
your-
actually said that, Pat Bondi, or did you? Is that
yeah.
okay? So if
Yeah,
she
it's not-
said it, then it's wrong. I mean, I think that's bullshit. You should not be able to come into anybody's
Yeah.
private domain and
So it
look for
says-
anything.
It says a new memo from the Trump administration reveals that ICE agents have been told they can enter homes without warrant to arrest migrants based on little more than suspicion. March 14 directive signed by Attorney General Pam Bondi uses an obscure 18th century law, the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, to give law enforcement nationwide the power to bypass basic constitutional protections. And then, according to the memo, agents can break into home if getting warrant is impracticable, and they don't need a judge's approval.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Stupid, right?
It's incredibly
You
against
think
the
You
Constitution.
think they're going too far?
Do I think they are?
Yeah.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
I think rounding them up in is one thing, but actually go if they're outside, if they're whatever, but they're going to actually start going to them. They can go to anybody's house and just say, "Hey, we're looking for people."
Yeah.
No,
I mean, if you're a criminal and you have some sort of a warrant or you did something you weren't supposed to do, and that constitutes for ICE to come and look for you, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? But just randomly,
is that
come in-
today?
When was this? No, March. Was it March 14th? It says March 14th directive signed by Attorney General Bondi.
And we're just hearing about this now.
Yeah.
Over a month and a half later.
Yeah. Was this Tom? Where was this? Was this on Twitter or Reddit or
I can tell you right here, it's coming from the Daily Boulder.
Daily
It's-
Boulder?
Yep, Daily
Oh,
Boulder.
this is today, April 25th, exactly. So this is 5 hours ago. This is out. So hold on. Was this March directive was actually for March 14th?
Yeah, so it was a March directive, and she talked about it today during one of her press conferences. And one of the most fascinating things I see from this memo/directive is this. Ready? The alien is not entitled to a hearing, appeal, judicial review of the apprehensive or removal warrant.
Wow.
After being removed from the United States, the enemy alien may not enter or attempt to enter the United States without permission of the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Wow. That's freaking crazy already. I think they're taking it too much from there and taking it way, way too far. Don't you
I
think?
want to know why.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, if
Well, I want them to justify that.
I understand the criminals, the drug dealers, and people doing stupid shit, and they get arrested and they give a reason for law enforcement to look for them. But like that lady from Laredo, Texas, who's been here, we were discussing about this last week. She's been here for 39 years since she was 11 years old, and she just gets snatched by ICE agents for no reason as collateral damage because I think they were looking for somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well-
just plain stupid for me. That's what I think. Anyways.
As far as stupid goes, I was watching TV today and I saw this commercial for vaccines for HPV vaccines, but it was geared towards 9-year-old kids. And the mother's hugging the kid and they're saying, they're never too young to start, getting this vaccine. And I'm like, they're 9 years old. They don't need an HPV vaccine. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they don't need any vaccines besides the ones that are necessary for them to go to school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you teach your kids safe sex. You teach your kids about sex and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but that's not until freaking high school.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So why are you going to be putting chemicals into your child's body at 9?
One of the reasons I think they might come up with that is because there's this new study done that girls start their puberty 6 years earlier than they did before. So girls start puberty, some even from the age of 10, between the ages of 10 and 13. Usually girls start puberty when they're like freaking 16. Yeah.
Well, usually like
15.
14. Yeah.
Whatever, yeah. So they start puberty from the age of 10, and that's due to all these chemicals and foods and microplastics that we use. Especially there's some sort of estrogen inside those microplastics. Those bottled waters and all that stuff that we use. So I don't know if that's the reason. Apparently, I don't know. I mean. But even if it is, I think that's stupid. I don't think you should give any child any vaccine besides the ones that are necessary. And even with the ones that are necessary, kids are having issues, with, and that's why there's this huge dilemma of vaccination and autism and all this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the toxic environment, that's what it is. Why don't we focus on, he's getting rid of all of the artificial sweeteners, artificial colors.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, artificial
that's
flavors. He's getting rid of GMOs. He's getting rid of high fructose corn syrup. He's getting rid of everything. So I think this is a move in the right direction. So let's stop talking about him with the worm in his brain. Let's stop talking about him, eating weird animals, snakes, whatever. Let's focus on he's going to get this stuff out of our kids' bodies. Hopefully a body can flush all this shit out if you don't eat it after a while.
Hopefully. But I think we're so damaged. It's because of those foods that we're the most obese country in the world. It's because of those chemicals, because of those dyes. Was it red dye 40 and all those other coloring?
Yeah, and our kids they sit in front of a video game or a cell phone all day. They don't exercise.
I know, but that's our fault. That's the parents' fault, I think.
Of course, it's all the parents' fault.
Regardless of how much the system shoves it down your throat. Hey, this is okay. Hot Cheetos, M&Ms, and all that junk, that our kids love, and so do adults. I think at the end of the day, it's the parents' fault. Because the kid, he doesn't know any better. Hot Cheetos, good or bad. M&Ms, good or bad. Coca-Cola, Sprite. In our household, we never buy soda. I mean, the only time we would buy soda is during parties, and then the type of soda we would buy is, I don't know, like some Italian soda or some Armenian lemonade, things like that. We rarely buy Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, or Sprite, things like that. It's just simply bad. If you know something's bad, how can you force it down the throat of your child, or let them at least do it? They don't understand it, but do you? You do, right? You're an adult.
Of course. Have you had the Jew Coke?
The wood Coke?
The Jew Coke.
The Jew Coke. What the hell is that?
It comes over during Passover. It's if you go into the supermarket.
It's kosher?
It's kosher. It has a yellow cap on it. You'll see the Coke if you go to the supermarket. It has a yellow yeah, and it has no high fructose corn syrup. It's like Mexican Coke.
So it's made with cane sugar.
Yes, because they can't have the high fructose corn syrup during Passover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it tastes really good.
Well-
It's like old school Coke.
Well, Coke they're innovating. You know, they're
It's still garbage, but it's
yeah.
better garbage.
yeah.
Yeah, a Jewish friend of
At
mine.
least they're serving their demographics, so
Yeah.
they're serving the population that uses it.
Like, why don't you just keep it all year long? Why do you? It's like they make a bunch of it. When it's gone, and then they come up with it next year.
Yeah, because cane sugar is expensive, right? More expensive, or
Of course, probably.
than high fructose corn syrup, which is crap, right? Artificial.
Yep. Well, it's going to be gone. By 2026, that stuff's going
So
to
that's
be gone.
interesting. We're gonna have a big shift in foods. You know,
Yep.
these businesses have to adjust to these new laws and regulations that Kennedy's is bringing, and it's interesting. I love it. I mean, I gotta tell you, this is fantastic. I
So
mean,
this is new. This Bondi thing is brand new. So I was watching. I was looking at Trump's approval rating because they were talking about it, and it's at 45% or something like that. I think people that voted for him, if this thing is comes out with no explanation why you're doing it, I think it's going to hurt him
this is stupid. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I don't know why.
because it bothers me, and I voted for him.
Yeah, so did I. And remember, you know, what is it, first on immigration, 53% of Americans now disapprove of how Trump handled the issue, a notable drop from a week ago. Americans increasingly aren't buying his claims about wrongly deported men. And tariffs, nearly 2 to 3 Americans disapprove of his signature economic policy. One of the least popular issues of his term, negotiations between China and the United States remain elusive. I also saw an article today that apparently on the down low, China is redacting their tariffs on semiconductors on the U.S. So they're taking out that 125% tariff that they placed on the U.S. Is that right, Tom? Can we pull that up?
That's
China, there you go. China has lifted 125% retaliatory tariff on specific semiconductor imports from the U.S. According to the report, some U.S. semiconductors are now exempt from these tariffs, which were previously set at 125%. So that means, I don't know, maybe China is not able to keep up with the U.S. The U.S.
Well, don't ask the legacy media or the Democrats because they'll tell you that this game that he's playing, that's not working. It is. That right there shows you that it's
I
working.
was part of that media saying.
Yeah, but you're not. You look at but you can read something and not say, oh, that's false, right?
Yeah.
These people still aren't going to believe it. They're not going to believe anything because anything that he does that's beneficial.
And now Apple is actually trying to move their production of iPhones from China to India. Now, this question arises to my head. Is India going to be, and then the next China? Is another U.S. president going to come and say, oh, India, you know, we have a trade deficit, you have a trade surplus, and now let's kick India's ass with tariffs? Is that something else that's going to happen, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Well, I think since they do our telemarketing anyway, they're going to have the proper phones to do it.
The scamming and the telemarketing, right? Yeah, so many companies have call centers over there.
I think ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is a bliss. So let me tell you of ignorance. Well, this is. I mean, I don't know if this is ignorance because it's almost impossible to find out. So there's this Australian radio station in Sydney by iHeartRadio, and they had a AI generated host for 6 months, and nobody knew about it. The public couldn't figure out it was a freaking AI generated host. You know, like all these. I don't know what's the host names here in LA. The famous one, I forgot his name. Ryan Seacrest, for example, right?
That little man.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine you have a Ryan Seacrest as a host, and he's AI generated.
Well, I don't really listen to radio anymore. I listen to Sirius. I've been listening to Sirius forever, or I listen to the music that I put on my iPhone.
No, I know,
iTunes.
but this is the thing. I mean,
I can't.
Where are we going with this? With AI? I mean, just like before, you didn't have iPhones and it was okay, but now you can't live without one.
We're going to more brainwashing. That's where we're going. More control because they can subliminally put stuff with these AI, probably these hosts, where they can say things that we don't really hear, like a dog whistle. And it's, they do time.
Yeah, no, but what I'm trying to understand is how far is this going to go?
It's going to go as far as they can push it.
No, I know, but AI is only thing it can do is get smarter. It can't get any dumber. It gets only smarter.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you had Star Trek, which they had the walkie-talkies where they would, and it would flip up a flip phone.
Yeah.
And they would speak. And,
Yeah.
And that came to fruition. So it's always going to get, technology's always going to control the market.
Do you like it? Are you pro AI?
I'm pro AI in a sense where if you can just use it for information. I'm not pro AI actors. I'm not pro AI DJ hosts. I'm not pro AI, robots. These guys can't wait for the female robots so they don't have to deal with.
There are people like that who can't wait for a female.
Yeah,
Of course,
me.
they're
Yeah, me.
yeah,
Kidding me?
Really?
Oh hell yeah!
they're lined up.
So like instead of having dolls, blow up dolls, now they have.
Someone who can clean my house and someone who can service me.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, that type of. Okay, no, I'm sorry, my mind is
Wait,
taking me
what are you
somewhere
thinking
else.
of?
Oh, okay, never mind.
So back in 2000, I went to the.
Oh, that I'm okay with actually. I wouldn't mind a robot cleaning up my house and dusting my tables and
Yeah,
organizing.
but that's your significant other. These guys, that's going to be their significant other.
Oh shit! So I'm right. I'm thinking the right thing. You're saying there are people who can't wait to have a robot to be their significant other.
Yes. Okay, I in 2000, I think it was 2000, went to the AVN Awards in Vegas. My buddy took me, and the lines of really nerdy, ugly, fat men out there waiting in line to take a picture with the porn star. Because each porn company had a booth,
Oh shit!
and they had their girls there, and these guys were lined up, and they'd be like, "Oh, can I take a picture, making like I'm licking your?" And the guy would be doing this while his friends taking pictures. So they have no communication skills, they have no social skills. So this is what they're looking for. Their AI
So
girlfriend.
They need that robot.
Of course, if they have the money, they'll be.
So Tom brought up an article today. I was reading that Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he was complaining that when people use ChatGPT and they're nice to
They
ChatGPT,
say thank you.
They say thank you. They give compliments. They have to spend more money on the app to get ChatGPT, in system or
Takes up more electricity. It takes up more power. Yeah. I was reading about that.
Isn't that crazy?
So I stopped. I don't say thank you anymore. I used to say thank you. Now I don't because I'm using energy.
Yeah.
When the robots take over, they're gonna remember you not saying thank you and please.
And
I do it every time.
You
okay?
still do it?
Yeah, still.
Do you guys think it's going to be like the Will Smith movie,
Oh, big time.
I,
Yeah.
Robot?
Oh, totally.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think eventually we're going to have like those types of robots working at airports and train stations and
We already have
cab drivers and
We already have robot police dogs, dude. Have you seen those yet?
I have.
Those are insane.
Boston Robotics, I think.
Yeah, exactly. In 10, 20 years from now, we're not going to recognize this world. I promise you.
Well, 20 years from now, I probably, even if it was the same, I probably wouldn't recognize it.
Are you going to be alive in 20 years? How old are you?
I'll be 80.
80. Maybe you'll be alive.
Damn you, woman! Where's my soup?
I hope you end up in a good nursing home.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's freaking crazy. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to imagine it.
Did you see your buddy Al Gore came out and called Trump a Hitler?
No way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he called him Hitler. Yo,
Why?
of course. Why? Because he's I guess he's got no masseuses he can sexually harass. He gets charged with sexually harassing his masseuse, trying to rape her.
Hold on. He was trying to rape his masseuse?
Yeah, she came out.
Al Gore?
Yeah, years ago. And so I'm going to say that if his prediction on Trump being the next Hitler is the same as his production on global warming destroying the world, he's not going to win any of them. Remember, he said the world was supposed to be flooded by before 2000, and he's a big dope. That's why George Bush won. If they had a better candidate, George Bush wouldn't have won.
George Bush, yeah. I mean, listen, you remember when he got elected, how much people, I don't want to say hated him, but they thought less of him as a president. He's not presidential. He doesn't know how to talk. He doesn't have, this good, he's not a good orator,
Yeah.
But me now thinking of him, he was actually, he's like an okay president, except all that bullshit with the war.
Yeah.
I mean, comparing him, let's say, to Joe Biden.
Oh, Joe Biden was the worst.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is, it's not comparable.
And they're pushing AOC now.
No way.
They're pushing AOC.
Oh, she's
A lunatic.
Don't believe she will get elected to any higher office than being a congresswoman from New York.
So we were talking about the China tariffs and stuff like that, and I was thinking about that, and I remember when products would last forever.
Yeah.
You had a toaster. That toaster lasted
years.
25 years. Today, they don't last. And maybe if we start making products that are quality, we don't have to keep polluting the earth with trash or ripping the minerals and stuff out of the earth for more stupid batteries and stuff like that. We don't make products that last anymore. Our cars don't last. Cars used to last 25 years.
Well, if you buy a Toyota, it still will.
Well, no, they're having their problems.
Yeah,
They're having their problems. So, what's your feeling? Like, if we just make better products, we'll spend less in the long run. Now, does that affect the GDP of?
Well, obviously.
So we have to find other ways to make money.
If people buy, less because their product is good, it's much better, instead of buying something that's going to break down, I don't know, 12 months later, you got to go buy it again. Obviously, there'll be less sales, so that will affect in some way, shape, or form. But
the pollution in the ocean from all the stuff, the landfills, where do you do with all this garbage, all this junk that breaks down, and you have to buy new junk to replace that junk?
Panasonic, right?
Yeah.
So it's a Japanese brand. So it's not very popular anymore.
They make a good TV, they say.
Exactly. So I had a Panasonic TV when we were growing up as a kid. We had that TV like forever, like 20 plus, maybe even 25 years. That thing just didn't break down. So thinking about it, if you have a good product, you're not going to buy it for 25 years. You can keep, unless you go with the trend, you get a wider screen, you get a bigger TV, you get a flat screen, that has better resolution. I'm talking about, 1990s Moscow, that's a different story. But usually people, when, how often do you change your TV at your house? Almost until it freaking breaks down.
Yeah.
You're not going to change it.
Doesn't
matter
my kids
how
break
many
it.
new versions come out.
Yeah.
Right? My boy, broke my TV, and I mean,
Did he blame it on the dog?
he just freaking took a toy and just. I have a screen protector right now. I mean, who the hell has a screen protector on a TV? I have a screen protector at my house just in case. They decide to throw something at the television.
Yeah, I bought a TV in 2000, and I came home one day and it was broken. And I go, "What the?"
Yeah.
My kid goes, "Oh, the dog did it." The dog did it. I go, "Okay."
My boy, he was 2 years old at the time, and he couldn't speak. So I don't know if he would have been able to say the dog did it. But we don't even have a dog. So there's this California mayor suggesting to give free fentanyl to purge the homeless population. People are going freaking crazy, man. These.
You mean to kill him?
Like to kill him. I mean, look at this.
Is he a Democrat or Republican? We got to know.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now.
Talking about homeless, It sounds like you want to kind of enclose all these homeless people in one territory. And I
No,
don't.
what I want to do is give
and I
them
don't
free
think.
fentanyl. I mean, that's what I want to do.
Do what?
I want to give them free fentanyl. You know?
I can't understand what you're saying. You wanted to get with them what?
I want to give them all the fentanyl they want. That's what I want.
I don't regret saying it. I'm happy that we're focusing the attention on an aspect of this problem that nobody seems to want to look at. These people are killing our citizens.
Mayor Rex Paris, shared his controversial views during the February 25th city council. He's a Republican, most likely, if he's from Lancaster. Can we check if he's a Republican or
So I have a
Democrat?
question for you. It's an ethical question.
Okay.
Is it more humane to let them stay on the street and just drool and
Then to give him fentanyl?
than to just take them out of their misery?
Is it more humane?
Which one is more humane?
I mean, come on. It's obvious to let them. I told you he's a Republican. No, just to do what they've been doing for all these years. I mean, come on. It's not humane to give them fentanyl just because they're homeless.
No, I'm saying take them out of their misery, meaning
Like, do what?
get rid of them. Like,
How to get rid of
if you, well, what he's suggesting is
that's stupid.
to just get them off the planet. Now, is it
Yes,
more
I know they're
humane
difficult.
to have people for 5 years just drooling, bent over, they're not really there, or
No freaking way. No, regardless of how much problems they cause the
is
city.
that a religious answer, or is that
Besides religion, I just don't think it's right.
okay?
I mean, no, that's stupid. You can't just kill somebody just because
They're in
they've-
pain, or
they're in pain and they're.
we do it all the time.
If they do it voluntarily, they go to Dr. Jack.
What's the difference between
Jack
that?
Kevorkian and say, "Hey, take me out of my misery." That's a different story.
Yeah, but what's the difference between this and cancer?
Cancer, you don't choose to have cancer.
You don't choose to do this either. You get hooked.
Yes, they do.
No, they get hooked, and it becomes an addiction. An addiction's not a choice.
No, I get it, but before you get into addiction, you make a choice to use that specific whatever you're using, drug or financial crisis you're going through. Everything's based on your decisions.
So smoking, drinking alcohol, you get your cancer.
Can anybody force you to drink alcohol? No, right? You decide on your own to
No,
drink
but what I'm
alcohol.
saying is, but when somebody has cancer, when somebody has lung
Addiction
cancer,
problem. This is where the problem
Yeah.
comes in. Is when after you start drinking and you cannot control yourself anymore, then you are addicted. Then that is a sickness. Then that is a problem. But prior to being addicted to anything, you make the choice of taking that route of using that drug, taking in that alcohol, or smoking a cigarette.
yes, but we take the person with lung cancer and we put them in hospice and we give them pain medicine and help them die, where we don't have the same morality when it comes to these people who are just never gonna be
The only time they do that is when that
normal.
What?
I just wanted to finish. These people are never going to be normal again. Their brains are fried, right?
These people?
A lot of these people on the street, they're done. So do you?
Most of them are.
Uh-huh.
But there are instances where they come out of homelessness, they become
Of course,
productive,
of course, people get cured from cancer too. But what I'm saying is, why don't we have a hospice for people that are just so far mentally gone, where they're screaming
because
in the
they don't
streets?
choose to take that route. People don't. These homeless people, they don't choose to go and say, "Oh, you know what? Give me that welfare you've been advocating for me all this time. Give me that space to live in. Give me that bed. Give me that food. Give me that job." They don't want to do it. I mean, I go across the city in LA. I'm sure you've seen it. There's this new trend now, and they're not homeless. I promise you, they're not homeless. But these mothers and dads with a infant, few months old baby. Maybe, and then some are with the 1-year-olds or 2-year-olds. They're carrying the baby. They're just rocking the baby, and they have a freaking sign saying, "Oh, help me! Oh, help me! I don't have a job. I don't have this. I don't know that." They're most likely that those are, I don't know. There's some gypsies who do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and some of them I've met. They're freaking gypsies, and they make a load of money doing that. By the way, it's like this new trend. If you exit the 101, You know, if you exit off the 101, you exit Woodman or Coldwater Canyon. You know, they're always on that side, and it's the same thing. You know, it's they freaking chose to go at that corner and beg for money, while the dad, why the is the dad there begging for money with the wife and the child, where he can be working his ass off and, you know, rent an apartment and live normally. I'm sure they live normally. That's the thing. That's my problem. They live normally. They have a car, you know, and they get government assistance. But they chose to stand on a corner, just like somebody chooses to drink, to do, you know, drugs. Go ahead, Tom.
I see it every day on Beverly and the really rich Jewish neighborhood. I see the same mother, the same father, and I see the same two kids every single day. And I promise you, they park their car 2 or 3 blocks away so they can walk to the nice neighborhood. I promise you that.
Do they have a tambourine?
Oh, that'd be cool. See, I would give them more money. I would.
Do they have a what?
Tambourine.
What is that?
A tambourine. It's like a disc that has little silver
Bells.
disc. And they, you know.
They
shake it like this.
ring?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like they'd be a cool little band, you know?
So what is because I was talking once a few years ago, and I was talking with people, and somebody brought up Gypsies, and there was a super liberal person in the room, and they go, "That's not politically correct to say."
To say gypsy?
Yeah. What is the political term politically correct?
Saying the word gyp, saying, "Hey, he gypped me off," saying that people who are gypsies or Romanians that they're out to steal or to.
But even the term, like, they don't want to. It's like, don't call them a dwarf. Don't call them a. You got to call them dwarf or something like that. Like, they change the terminology on what gypsies. Because when I hear gypsies, I think of the kerchiefs and the.
No, aren't gypsies like you know how you say Amish, right? They're like a group of people. And you say Amish, you recognize that group of people.
Yeah.
Gypsies are, you know, it's like the same thing, saying like Amish. You don't say it in a bad way. It's just like the way they are. Gypsies, you know, just like.
Well, they don't have a home. It's like they're traveling.
They travel all over the place. Yeah.
Nomadic people of Romania who go out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and these, have you seen these robberies in LA, Southern California, where this woman goes to elderly people and asks them a random question about, you know, navigation or what street this is, or can you help me with this? And they target elderly people and they snatch their jewelry from their necks. Have you seen that going on?
No,
I witnessed it. I saw the video of a recent robbery, and it looks like those same people, those gypsies, that stand on the corner of those freeways. But going back to what you're saying, so my wife works at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
She deals with a lot of homeless, and as much as, you know, difficult they are, you still have to give them that treatment, and, you know, they're human. You know, they're not.
Well, yeah, I agree with you 100%. What I'm saying is the people that are dead, brain dead.
Brain dead. Yeah, look, brain dead is different. If they're brain dead, if they're brain fried, like you say, I don't think they're on the street. You know, you should take them into a mental clinic, and treat them there, a psychiatric clinic, if that's what you're referring to.
Brain, when their brain, I'm saying when their brain is fried, is like there's no coming back. You're not fixing them. Versus the person you can fix.
Yeah, look at this video. Look. Right in the middle of the day.
He's letting her take it off?
I know, but he's like an old guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what she's doing. You know, she's giving him this fake something chain, and while she's giving him that chain, she takes off a gold chain.
Oh. Well, I mean, I would like to see him pull out a gun and shoot her in the head. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I know that's not, humane, but fuck it. I can't stand people that with old people.
No, I can't stand people that mess with
or children.
Any people. Why would you even mess? Why can't you just be normal? Why can't you be?
Well, if somebody with you, it's going to be a different situation.
No, I understand, but I'm saying don't even do that. Don't even mess with. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't steal. From anybody. It doesn't matter. They're weak. They're strong. They're old. They're young. They're children. Just that's the thing. That's that mentality is slowly being, freaking diluted into something that people take it real far.
So this is something that I just love talking to, because a lot of Democrats and liberals will say, there's problems because Ronald Reagan closed the mental institutions, and I go, he closed the mental institutions started in the '60s, and then I think he did some more in the '80s. I go, it's been long enough. We've had Democratic presidents, we had Democratic senators. They could have fixed it if it was so bad, right? They could have brought it back. So just because somebody did something doesn't mean that's why we're dealing with this now. Let's put a lot of thought into why people are on the streets and homeless. There's no jobs. There's no industrial base anymore. People are just not intelligent enough to probably be in a higher end job. Drugs. I grew up. The big drug was weed. Of course, it was in the inner cities. You got cocaine, but now, just in suburbia, there's all kinds of drugs that kids are doing.
Yeah.
That your head. So
Especially starting middle school.
yeah,
I'm hearing stories that I'm just.
they're vaping in middle school, in the bathrooms.
The hell with vaping. They do hardcore drugs. The drugs that we didn't know that existed until we were in our, I don't know, late teens or in our early 20s.
Yeah.
These freaking kids are doing it in middle school. Somebody brings it to middle school, fentanyl and crack and, meth and cocaine and God knows what else. There's some drugs that I don't even know exist.
Yeah.
It's like new drugs. And
I don't get it.
so, George Santos, your best friend,
He's wonderful.
the Republican from New York,
Yeah.
short-lived.
This guy, he should be in jail.
Well, he is going to be in jail for 87 months.
No, he should be in jail forever for what he did.
I mean, I don't know forever. I mean, yeah, he committed some identity theft and
Fraud.
wire
I mean,
fraud
that
and-
f***s with people. I mean, to get that back is not easy, And they smile, and he's smiling like he's a fucking celebrity. They should fucking chop his fucking head off.
people like that should be held in, instead of being, accomplices or being a accomplice in a.
Remember, they used to take the leaders, the kings. They used to take them in the street and chop their heads off or kill them in front of the people, because you the community. So now we make celebrities out of him.
But what's
He's gonna have a book.
He stole his family members' identities and used their credit cards.
For what?
I don't know, man. These people change once they get elected, and he hasn't been in office for a while, right, Tom? He's been in office just for a very short period of time, and he committed all this crap, and yeah, for sure he should go to jail, definitely.
Yeah, it's I don't know. And then we have Shedeur Sanders, who was the quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes. And his dad is Deion Sanders, who was this incredible football player. He played on Dallas. He played on many teams. And they had the NFL draft yesterday, and and his dad's like, oh, he's going to get picked either the first, second, or third. But he didn't get picked in the first round. That's 32 teams passed on him in the first round.
Wow.
And he comes out and says, under no circumstance, we all know this should have happened. Like, this guy's ego is so far removed from reality. He's not even that good of a quarterback, but his dad was a superstar. Kind of like Bronny James.
Yeah.
His dad keeps trying to put him in the games, and he sucks. You know what I mean? He's no good, and he's getting paid $8 million or millions of dollars. The father got him millions of dollars as a rookie, while you got Austin Reeves, who's incredible, who's not getting that money, and you got the other guy, Connect, another great rookie. He's not getting that kind of money. These guys are putting points on the board. This guy goes in, he can't even get the friggin' a ball in the basket, And when the ball comes near
What
me,
do you think of the Clippers?
I guess they're doing pretty good now.
They're kicking ass, man. I mean, I would not be surprised. They have a game tomorrow. I would not be surprised if they become champions.
Could you check the Celtics score? Because Celtics are winning. They're going to be up 3-0
Last night they won the game as well, so the score is 2-1 right now
for the
And-
Clippers.
For the Clippers,
Yeah.
yeah, and I hope they win today as well. So
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
17 seconds left.
17 seconds, 93
Wow.
to 95.
I'm gonna try to find it for you guys so we can watch the final seconds, but keep on talking, okay?
Yeah. But yeah, Clippers, man, I freaking love them right now. I've been going to the games recently,
Yeah.
and I usually love to root for the underdog. And Clippers never been, on top of the league. 'Cause even
Yeah.
here in the Western Conference, they've always been like, I don't know, the worst team. But I freaking love them. Every single player over there, I think, is badass. Starting from those players like Kobe Brown. There's this kid. His name is Kobe Brown. I think he's wonderful as well.
So you don't like the Lakers?
It's not that I used to root for the Lakers a lot when I was a kid when Kobe was playing, but I love the Clippers right now. James Harden, Zubac, Bogdan Bogdanovic. I mean, they're freaking killing it,
Let's see.
0.3 seconds.
Yeah.
So they just like instantly they got to shoot.
Inbound shoot. It's going to
Are
be in
they
the
starting half court?
Yeah. Has to be inbound shoot. Who are they going to give it to? If
Tatum.
they get a 3-pointer, they win. If they get a 2-pointer, it goes into overtime. Come on, Jaylen Brown. What the hell? Who do you give it to? That's the question.
Tatum. What? They do? Why didn't they give it to Tatum? He was a wide open.
He shot. The guy shot from, I don't know who it was. He shot from the out of bounds, right?
You can do that? You can't shoot from out of bounds.
I don't understand.
What did he do?
Well, I'll say interesting podcast today. We went all over the place.
Yeah.
Do your research if you like any of those topics, and don't take our word for it.
That's right.
We're just introducing you to certain topics to broaden your horizons, your mind, and always wanting to come back and say, what are they going to talk about next week?
Yeah, and don't give fentanyl to the homeless.
Well, depends.